Let's have a look at something with a little more colour again. This one, Carnaby Street. I've just been doing all of these limited palette pieces with the black, white, yellow ochre and burnt sienna. This one is fairly subtle in its colours, so before I go on doing some more tonal ones, let's go at this one and see if we can produce it fairly simply with some subtle pastel shades. I'm not sure about putting figures into it yet, we'll see. First thing to do is to just map out basic colours. So what I'm trying to do in many of these paintings at the moment is avoid the blues. I know I'm well known for my blues, so I'm trying to keep to warmer colours, more earth colours, but I do want to enjoy some more pastel shades in this one, so off we go again. I'm going to take some magenta and white, and I can't resist it, I have to add a little bit of blue to that. I'll take some cerulean and I can break into it. My paint's getting a little bit heavier now. Just want to get a sort of backing colours on first of all. Now I can come back into that with white. A little touch of the yellow ochre, I suspect. Now to add a little bit of pink into this. Go slightly pinker because I want nice cheerful effects. We'll have a bit of fun with this one and just see how it goes. Just realised that because of the camera lens it's curving slightly down to here, which is rather fun. Isn't it fun? Just so loose, eh? Lively and loose. Cut into that in a moment, I don't want it that wide by any means, just to establish underpainting at the moment. Just to be able to see some of my shapes underneath that as it's a back. Right, morning again, and I'm going to continue with this work. I don't want to use too much blue, as I say. I'm trying to keep to the warmer colours. What I'm going to do now, in fact, is work on the slightly darker colours here to build up this background. I've got to use some blue because I've got to go to a purple. Make it a purple grey, so I'm going to make up some grey first, just to kill it down a bit. Then add some purple to that. Try and be a bit more subtle with the colouring. Play around with it a bit. Right, back with the roller again, and away we go. Not something I normally do because I prefer to keep to pure colour, so I shall enjoy getting back to France and painting with a full palette again soon. I'm to really enjoy the freedom of that. Although this is certainly interesting that it's pushing me to look at other ways of mixing colour and other palettes. So I'm deliberately adding black to my colours here to take the tones down a bit and make it a bit more pastel shady. Pastel shady? I'll make it my own term, shall I? Lovely cheerful colours. I'm of the flower power era of giving this ambience to Carnaby Street without making the colours too bright and garish, but equally I didn't want that very limited palette of the last paintings that we were doing, 1950s ones that were very almost like a black and white photograph. I should sort of work onto here soon with big brushes. Okay, I've got my 4 flats here to work with. Probably work mainly with that one. Finer work, but we shall see. So even with the shops we just indicate things. So although I want a certain looseness, equally I've got to still get the drawing carefully done. We don't have to care into the work. We're using it constantly as design, we're not copying, we're just giving an impression of the design. I hope I'm still keeping these colours subtle enough. The idea not being to very, very strong blues or strident colours, just reflecting all of these soft pastel shades into the background here. Now I've got these rather difficult matters of how to put these posts in, just exactly where they are. So that's one. Work them out again here. So we're making a design out of the reflections in the street in a way, aren't we? We're not worrying about the people at the moment. It'd be quite fun to put people in, but maybe we'll just have the street as it is. I'm just going to draw back in because I think these spaces are so important that I can't just guess them. I'm going to draw back in these areas for the light bulbs here, which the spacing is part of the composition, so I think it's very recognisable as well. So now I need to take a rigger brush and just get some of these fine lines in. Then we'll paint this very, very carefully here. I think we'll start with that. And again, I'll be using the deep purple and black. We can paint that almost in one stroke, as we've got enough liquid paint on the brush. I say liquid, I mean that there must be just the right amount of water in the paint or it won't flow if it's too dry, too heavy. And all the way around. Right. Now the lettering itself, and it's picking out areas like this that can make the painting, because we've got the background effects already. Don't forget you can make your brush into a blade. And go back, because I've got to go around this dark area here now, and then go back and paint in some of the areas in between. It's quite complicated, this sign. To indicate the colours behind then, but there is things happening behind here. Should have painted it in first. White into that. Now back to the round brush. And we'll paint those in as a very light cream and then put white on top. And this is where we start to get the light effects again, which are going to affect the rest of the whole painting, because these will bring out the darks to make the light seem lighter. I'll take some pure white and just come back in over these and lighten them up to really give a brilliance to them before putting in the dark fittings. I've got to take the same light and go back into the background here and start painting all of these little bulbs in the very distance. Once I've done that, I'll still got the colour on my brush and start to look at reflections here in the glass. And so we've worked outwards from our mid-tones to our darks, and then we're coming back again with the lights, the highlights into this to pick out these lovely reflections. Paintings were saying, well, you know, we don't always need the figures, let's let the viewer enjoy as if they were walking up there on their own. Well, the figures have a certain attraction, but equally I can see his point, so we'll try a few here without figures and any other bright bits that might be there. And then I just have to try, see if make any difference. A little bit of dark just in between these lights here, just pick out the difference in the there we go. Do we need to do much more to that? I'm not sure. I mean, it's a nice street scene as it is. It's just got the reflective qualities, and we're allowed to walk up it. And I've kept it simplified for you just to show how a fairly complicated street can have, you can have the impression of a fairly complicated street without actually having to pay too much detail. And there we go, I think it'll do us. Ah, we need a signature, and we're there. Let's take a close look at this one. And here we've used, as I say, a lot more colours. A full range of colours at my use, but I've kept them muted. I've kept them just down to low light, using a little bit of black just to soften things a bit, deaden things a bit, and just the scene, no people this time.